Coffee time. Notes. All good in the world of Oyster. Bring it on home. The 4 people up. Bring it. Yeah, good. We're good there. What's happening, everybody? Good morning. It has been a busy week. Welcome, everybody, to the Happy Oyster Show. I am your host, Bart Burke. I am all by myself. Captain Freddie, the Angry Bayman, has decided that he, with a wad full of cash, has decided to go to the auction up in Hudson, New York. Thank you so much for the thumbs up. Thumbs up, everybody. Wolfie, good morning to you. Your brake job is looking good, by the way. On Instagram. Freddie is going to this auction. It's like 22 acres. I guess he left early yesterday afternoon. I don't know. I saw him around 11 or 12. Gone. It's about 3.5 hours away. And it's in upstate New York and 22 acres of all kinds of shit. Tractor stuff, this, that, and the other thing. Model A parts, Ford Model A, antique stuff, all that stuff, but whatever. So Freddie the Angry Bayman is not with us today, so wish him a lot of luck. We got John McDonough on the horn. He's going to have to wait. Skipper T started a new job. She's getting herself into the restaurant thing again a little bit. Doing a couple of nights, keeping herself active and whatnot at a local seafood joint. And she worked late last night, and we burned it late the night before because we went to the Billion Oyster Party. So Skipper T is kind of taking it easy. I didn't bust her too bad. We're going to let her go. So good morning, Abraham. Good morning, Zip. What's going on? We got Terry Butts. What's happening? So that was Freddie, that's Skipper T, that's that. But it has been crazy. Before we get going any further, we got to take a shout out to our sponsor, Netminder. Okay, this is the special white paint that goes on the bottom of our barrels. I did about 6 barrels. I'm going to have you a little update on that, of course, towards old business and whatnot. Netminder, Alex Walsh. The man, the myth, the legend. He came out and saw us. He showed us how to do it. I put it on a little differently yesterday. I put it on with a roller. I'll show you what's going on. I think I'm probably going to give it another coat just because it was pretty easy to do and it went on pretty quick. And you can see where there are some spots. But we'll talk about the whole shooting match. I think this stuff is going to be a lifesaver, a labor saver. I think it's going to save me a lot of time in terms of cleaning the gook, the crab, the algae, the mutts that's all over the thing, all right? Netminder. Check them out. Our proud sponsor. Billion Oyster Party, Oyster Pizza. I swear to you, I think sometimes the planets are aligned and things just start to come together. Like, unbelievable. I got invited to a think tank this week. I'm going up to Maine early this week to a think tank about oysters and whatnot. And they approached me about some cage design and whatnot. And I'll get into that in a minute. I'm honored that, hey, the new rookie on the block is coming up to a think tank. Sometimes that's the way it works. It just, I'm honored. I'm more about that in a little bit. But anyway, we went to the Billion Oyster Party. Okay. Wow. It's just been exciting. One thing after the other lately. It's like, wow. This thing here had a whole bunch of different, it was like almost like a trade show, but it was a party. It was a fundraiser for the Billion Oyster Project, which is a whole bunch of oysters that they're going to plant in the drink. And why did this go out over here? Let's make sure everything's going good. Oh yeah, we're all right. I got 2 computers going at the same time, so I'm like a little concerned about what's going on there. And I saw this one go blank here for a second. Thank you guys for tuning in, by the way. So the Billion Oyster Project is a bunch of oysters that they're going to put spat on shell type of thing, which means that they grow oysters on old shells, and then they clump them together in this cage type system, and they line them all up. Does a couple of things. It cleans water, number one. Number two, it adds a little bit of a breakwater, so consequently, it's going to keep your coastal erosion possibly from not happening as much. And it's just good. It's good for the environment. It's good. It's education for the Harbor School, which is part of the affiliation with this whole program. Harbor School is a special high school in New York City. Anyway, more on the party. The party had growers and growers and growers. If you're anybody of anything as an East Coast grower, you've got to go and present at the Billion Oyster Party. I will be presenting there next year, God willing, I hope. And I just went as a reconnaissance mission to go check it out. And wow, there were oysters and more oysters and more oysters. And it was the cream of the crop. It was the best of the best. And it was major players. And it were players that want to be major players. And guys that are, and I don't mean that in a derogatory way. These guys are up and coming. They're trying really hard. They're producing a product that is absolutely par. I mean, just sweet. Every single oyster that I ate there, and I had a bunch of them, were absolutely delicious. Good morning, Jim Payton. Good morning. Good morning. I'm all by myself today. So the place that it was located was in Red Hook, which is down in Brooklyn, and it's overlooking the New York Harbor. You got Lady Liberty, you got the Freedom Tower. It's just a beautiful, beautiful spot. It was at Liberty Warehouse, a big brick building right on the waterfront. Just a phenomenal venue for this event. Really had a great, great time. The Go-Getters. It was really neat to see these guys that are going after and they're promoting their product and they're doing what they got to do. The same guys that you see on Instagram working the farm, doing their thing, are the same guys that are behind the table opening oysters and serving them to you. It just doesn't get better than that. You get to meet the farmer directly. Next year, got to go in there with a film crew. There was a lot of people there. Got to go in with at least a camera guy and maybe mic it up and start to get a little interview going between each one of these guys, because it was just phenomenal. I'm going to be presenting next year, but I got to do something to break. I don't know, man. My mind is like, just wow. A couple of the quickies that I wanted to bring out, and a couple of shout outs, because I did get recognized once and I really appreciate that. Pelican Oyster in Florida. Okay. Cannon Greg. Unbelievable product coming out of Florida. This guy's a go-getter. This guy is a survivor. This guy is go check him out on his Instagram. He got beat up by the hurricane, came back, did what he had to do, producing a mighty fine oyster down there in beautiful Florida. Pelican Oyster, hats off to you guys. We had, a whole, it just goes, if I leave anybody out, I mean, my wife picked these all up. I kind of was just in awe. I was like sitting. I had a Blue Point brew. Stats off the Blue Point brew. Had a Blue Point brew in my. Never ate an oyster in my life. Well, you are missing out, Alan. Blue Point brew in one hand, and oysters in the other, and it was hot stuff as well. It was restaurants that are doing their thing. Mook Sea Farm, another great guys. Eastern shores of Virginia, an area that is coming back rapidly, and place that I just hats off to those guys. Wellfleet up in Massachusetts. Just delicious. Louisiana, got another Pelican, Louisiana. No Such Maine oysters, and another Rappahannock. Louisiana oysters, I didn't give them enough time. It was endless. These are just some of the business cards that my wife picked up. And again, we shout out a whole bunch of business cards as well. Tony Joe was right along with me. It's kind of a pain in the ass to get there. It was about 2 and a piece hours. We left at about 4 o'clock. We got there. Left it by the time she got done getting her stuff together and whatnot. It was probably 4:30, so 2 hours and a little bit. We got there right on time at 7 o'clock. It's west. It's some of the toughest driving in the world. I think I'm not a big lover of the city. I like the city. I like the great place to visit, but I wouldn't want to live there. The Statue of Liberty was right there, the Freedom Tower. It was just looking at downtown Manhattan. I'm sorry, guys. It's just not the same to me. I got a little problem. I haven't been down there since 9/11. But this was about as close as I've gotten to it. No, I shouldn't say that. I was on a Circle M graduation tour, which is like a little boat thing that goes around the lower Manhattan, and I got pretty close to the whole shooting match then. And but I have not actually sat foot by foot down on the actual grounds in that area since the event. And again, it's that area hits home pretty nicely. And being there, eating oysters, having fun, drinking beer, thinking about America and how great America is. It's like, hats off, man. We kicked some serious butt, and we're still kicking butt. And God bless America, because America is a beautiful thing. Okay, John, Oyster Pizza. What? So, you go to an event like this. It was kind of like a trade show / party. I kind of missed the fact that I think everybody should have had a name tag on it. When you go to a trade show, you can read somebody right off the bat, who they are, where they're from, blah, 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 blah. This event did not have that. I'm kind of getting over a sinus infection / allergies. I don't know about you guys. But anyway, so you missed that. There was a lot of people there, 1,000 people. It was a benefit. It was, tickets, blah, blah, blah. But everybody's drinking, partying, and, it costs a couple of bucks to go to there. So it's not like you have any riffraff in there or this or that. You know what I mean? It's not like they let anybody at the door to come in. You got to get tickets well in advance. They sell out. It's a big deal, okay? The Billion Oyster Project. If you get a chance to go next year or whatever, go. Good time. It's like an Oyster of the Month Club all in one shot. You get to bam. It's like all of these growers. And after a while, I'll be honest with you, man, they tasted delicious, so good. I mean, one after the other, it's like, I don't know which one's better than the other one. So then you start looking at their shell. You start picking apart their shell and what their shell looks like, because their meats are all tasting delicious, let me tell you what. So it went on and on. It was in the Liberty Warehouse down in Red Hook in Brooklyn area. In Brooklyn, Red Hook area. So where was I going with that? Oh, Oyster Pizza. So I got a video on my phone about Oyster Pizza. Marketing, and more marketing, right? It's all about marketing. And these guys are marketing, putting it to the next level. They're calling it a wood-fired oyster pizza. Oh, my orientation wasn't right. So you're going to have to deal with it, I guess. So anyway, he's putting them on. He's grilling them. This is all outside. I should have taken a little better shot. And I'm sorry I don't have a better system, but whatever. You get the idea. He's grilling the oysters on a hot thing. He's putting them down on there. He's got a little bit of tomato sauce marinara type of action going on there. All right. Then it comes over to this guy here. Now, this guy is kind of the showman. He's talking the talk and doing his thing. And he's putting a little bit of like I'm not quite sure, salt or a little cheese or something. He didn't have much in that cup, and it was getting to the late of the night. So I don't know what was going on there. But, and again, there's, now he takes the torch. Okay. It's all about the showmanship, right? So he takes the torch on there and he starts hitting them a little bit. And then he serves them. Okay. And it's a wood-fired pizza. Wood-fired oyster pizza. Phenomenal idea. Okay, just phenomenal. They tasted delicious, just like everybody else did. But I got a hankering for oysters and a ribeye. Hey, that is a nice idea. A little surf and turf, right? That's a good idea. I was thinking about they've been talking about lobsters, and lobsters just came in and they allowed to set their traps and whatnot just this past week. And I've been hearing about lobsters coming in, and I'm like, that sounds good too. Nice lobster on the grill, maybe a ribeye, maybe some oysters. life is good. So that was Oyster Pizza, wood-fired Oyster Pizza. It's like the gateway. They were marketing it as a gateway. A gateway to oysters, to trying oysters. I mean, who doesn't eat pizza? What a phenomenal idea. Who doesn't eat pizza, right? Everybody eats pizza. So here is, hey, kid, you want to try an oyster pizza? And he looked at this thing, and, now if you looked at an oyster in a half shell, some guys call it snot in a shell and whatnot. And, but it's an I shouldn't say that. You got to try it, and then don't let your eyes deceive you. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, wood-fired pizza. What does the communists have to do with hating pizza? I don't get it. Mr. Hand is in the house. Bring it on home. So good morning, Jimmy Frozen's in the house. So everyone eats pizza. Exactly. Smoked oysters. Now there is another one that I was thinking that, if you had a little tray with some wood and you put the cover down and you put a little, we could get all kinds of crazy, all right, and creative. Next year, I can't wait because I am I don't know how you get. I want to be outside. I want to be outside. There was inside people and there were outside people. The outside guys, there wasn't so much. It was cold. It was kind of a raw day, but I still want to be outside because I want the. Number one, the ambience of being outside. Number two, you could cut up more outside than you were inside. There was less people outside, and I just want to be outside. I want to have a grill and a raw bar action at the same time. That's what I want to do. I want to bring a couple of guys in with me. I want to set it off. Next year, I'm really looking forward to that. All right, that takes care of that. Did I cover everything about that? The Billion Oyster Party. We got a bunch of stickers and some other stuff. And again, a lot of players. And I'm not going to go into each specific one. If you're following us on Instagram or following some of the people that we follow on Instagram, there were a lot of those players were there. There are a lot of pictures over there on their Instagram. I did not post any pictures. I don't believe I have the right to post pictures about it because I am in a rookie year and I have not earned my colors yet to even think about that. I got to produce a product before I start to do those kinds of that kind of a promotion type of thing. I can promote me and my business and this and that and everything else, but hats off to these guys. I mean, these guys deserve all of the kudos in the world. They're producing a phenomenal product. And if they're presenting it it was just, what a great event. I can't say it enough. Speaking about Instagram, we have a little over 620 followers on our Instagram. I thank you so much. Please come on over and check out our Instagram. Subscribers on YouTube are inching up. We're getting ever so close. It's a real pain in the neck to film with a laptop, but we're going to go over here and I'm going to try to do a little self-filming in a second. About time I unplug that. We need to get to 1,000 to be able to film with our phone. Please help us out. Come over and subscribe to us. Love you guys so much. Please. It's free too, by the way. It's free to subscribe. It doesn't cost any money. All right. You just got to have a little Google YouTube account and boom, boom, boom. You just hit the button, subscribe, boom, and it's done. It's real simple. It's real easy. It costs $0. I need your help. I know a lot of people, but I know that you're on every single Saturday at 10 a.m. And I am. It's consistent. I do that. But I need the numbers. I need some of the numbers. You know what I mean? Alex Walsh from Netminder. Special shout out to my friend and colleague and sponsor, Netminder. Love you guys. And this is what their product did. Oh, by the way, Alex, if you're watching from Netminder, I do need some some POP, some point of purchase material, a banner or something to put up on the wall. We got a lot of different space in the background. Netminder would really look good. Something like that. Maybe put that in. I don't know. Yeah. You get the idea. I need a banner. All right. So here we go. The think tank has got a little pizza in mind too, almost. It almost kind of, one thing leads to the other. As you can see, we're kind of making like cages, look like pizza slices. I'll be into that in a second. Oh, it's beautiful. It's going to turn out to be nice today. I got to go clean the baby oysters too today. All right, so that brightness of the sun. What do we do here? We got barrels that are been prepped. We got 6 of them. Get this thing out of the way for a minute. Let me put this down there for a minute. All right. So we got some barrels done. I got some half barrels that were made up and whatnot. But little baby oysters are going to go inside these things, and then they're going into the floating upweller, which is up and operational, which we put a new motor in and whatnot. To keep the biofouling down and the amount of flow to go through these oysters, we use this new paint, Netminder, which I've been touting and pushing and whatnot. And it's a white bottom type anti-fouling paint. It works with the sun, and it resists junk to grow on there. So your flow is going to be better. It's not going to be as heavy on the barrel. It's going to just be a better, a cleaner, a nicer environment for our oysters. And it's a safe environment because it's all non-toxic. That's an important one. We don't want to use copper-based because copper and shellfish do not mix. So don't go, oh, I think I'm just going to use last year's bottom paint for the boat on my barrels. No. You've got to use something that is bio-friendly, okay? So we did the insides and we did the outsides. Now, this might be tough for me to show you. Which one is? He talked about, and again, yes, they are a sponsor, but I am holding no holds back. I am going to tell you exactly what I think about it, about the product and how it works and what it does. I am not a sellout. This is it. Sometimes it gets me, and sometimes my straight mouth might get me in trouble is what I'm trying to get at. So I'm trying to nip it in the bud before I get in trouble. You get where I'm coming from, I hope. Yes. This one, kinda. This one's out a little bit. All right. So there are certain places on the barrel that it doesn't necessarily stick to. And he talked about this. And he talked when Alex was here. And he said that hit it with some Dawn dishwashing detergent. Excuse me for a second. I washed all of these with a Dawn dishwashing detergent, give it a little squirt and a little soap up with the car wash brush. But there are still some spots. Now, I'm going to stick this thing in here. I hope it's going to work. I hope you can kind of see. Maybe. I don't know. Can you see this here? Down there? There we go. See that spot down there? It didn't quite stick. And it almost like fish-eyed on there. I hope you guys could see that. And then here's another one here. This one kind of got it too a little bit. Yeah. So I'm going to give it another coat and see if we can get those spots to get covered up again. Or maybe that needs a little sand, or maybe that needs, I don't know. I'm really not upset about that at all, because if the rest of the place doesn't grow algae and crap all over it, beautiful. You know, I mean, this could be a major labor saver and a half. All right, I can't tell you how much time is not wasted, is utilized on cleaning barrels and keeping the oysters clean and good. Okay. All right. I look cheap, but Shimano. What do you mean? Warships, I think still some paints use copper on the bottom, I think, or copper inside of the paint itself, or something to that degree. All right, so the next thing, talking about think tanks. Oh, I'm chewing up my time. I'm coming right in on time. Right on time. I'm loving life. We got John McDonough's in the house, as a matter of fact. John, we're live, as a matter of fact. John, aren't you excited about that?
I always wanted to be alive.
You always wanted to be alive.
And it pays to be alive at 76.
76, I'll have you know. This is John McDonough. John McDonough, this is totally impromptu. He's coming in, talking, checking in. John and I have got some oysters that we're growing in these flopsy barrels that we were just talking about, and how we were talking about our bottom paint and all of this good shit that's going on with that. And I'm talking about this new think tank that I got invited to go up to in Maine this week, and we're talking about these cages that we're kind of building here, looking like a pizza. Yes, it's such a pain in the neck, John. If you're not a subscriber to us on YouTube, John, I strongly recommend it. So this is kind of like a triangle cage. It's going to have, this is just a half a cage. And then I got another half over here. We're working on some rounding. We're working on some cages. I even had to, the people sent me some like fancy drawings, but I go old school. I use bits and pieces of paper and, color forms, and I try to design it and engineer it to utilize the best amount of material to what you have to use. Some guys just waste the shit out of material, and they're just, let's just cut out a shape. But try to utilize the size of your material and the amount of labor that it's going to take to cut it. If you can cut it down and modify your cage, this is where the design, this is where the thinking comes into play. This is where it really boils down to, because time is money, number one, and number two, material is money. So if you can use less material and less time, this is why they invited me, and I'm really honored to go and join them. I'll have a lot more about that down the road. I can guarantee you that. All right, I got nothing else. Got any quick questions? Man, did it go by quick. Oh, look who's in the house. Did I talk? We got Skipper T in the house, kind of. She's.
The old saying, better late than never.
She's. You got it. Oh, she's got to go do something for real.
I was on the phone for it. Yeah.
Oh, all right. She's.
Hi, everybody.
I didn't know if she was all right with that. She's just. Hey, that's Skipper T in the house. That's my other half. That's the best part of the whole thing. She went to. Do you want to say anything quick about that? All right. So she's out of here. So anyway, I'm sure she'll talk about that.
About the Billion Oyster Project?
Yeah. Do you want to talk about the Billion Oyster Project real quick? Or?
Just real quick.
What your thoughts were on that?
Yeah, I don't need to. I think if they can hear me, I'm just.
Well, how do you talk and not be seen at the same time? You want to just step down here for a half a second and stop?
Sure.
She's drinking her morning celery juice. There it is. Loving it.
Loving
All right. So T, talk to me. We went to the Billion Oyster Project, just a real quick fundraiser and whatnot.
Red Hook, Brooklyn, on Liberty Warehouse on the water. Beautiful, beautiful spot. Approximately 1,000 attendees, all to benefit the waterways of New York City and to get 1 billion oysters in and around the harbors to bring these waters back. Phenomenal event.
I kind of told them all about that, so they got the whole idea.
It was great. It was great. We had saw a lot of people, talked to a lot of people, ran by a bunch of different marketing ideas that we got with some people. The energy was just so good. Right.
It was just a great venue. What was the thing that struck you the most out of the whole party? That's the question I got for her. And we didn't talk about this beforehand. So what one thing, like you go to a trade show, you go to this. What was the one thing, Tony, that you got out of it? I shared the wood-fired pizza, oyster pizza.
Oh, it's a gateway to eating oysters, which is phenomenal.
I thought that was a marketing phenomenon.
It's interesting the difference with so many oyster growers there. It's amazing the difference that there is a difference in the taste. Like I kept saying, some are fuller bodied than others. Also, the size of the oyster. The shell color, I mean, there's the guys out of Chesapeake Bay. Their shells are very, very white, the way they work their oysters.
And again, it was a time that you could spend talking directly to the
grower at hand. Yep.
I mean, that was really neat for me.
The gentleman, was it Craig?
So one thing. You got one thing?
Passion.
The passion that it took to be there. Again, if you're anybody that's anybody or you want to be somebody and you are passionate about oysters,
about what you're doing,
they're there. There you go.
Have a great week, everybody.
So there you have it. Passion was the bottom line. Celery juice. She made it. Hats off to Skipper T. Thank you so much for tuning in and giving your little 10 bits to that. I appreciate all you guys. I appreciate all you guys tuning in each and every week. I really, to the bottom of my heart, this is what makes me tick. It's you guys that make me tick. It's all of the good stuff that we're doing for the oyster industry. I appreciate everybody tuning in. I hope to see you guys next week, each and every Saturday, 10 a.m. live for approximately about a half an hour for Oyster Shenanigans. Please give us a thumbs up. Hit us up. You know where to get me. Instagram or YouTube. Bring it on home. If you got to call me direct or text, by all means, 631-902-0836. It's on my hip at all times.
Hey, is it a pain in the neck working on your computer?
What?
Is it a pain in the neck streaming off the computer?
Oh, it is a pain in the ass streaming off the computer, Tony Joe. As a matter of fact, we need 1,000. We're getting closer. We're like 913. So
only 6 this week?
Only 6 this week, Tony. One a day is better than nothing. Yeah. So please come on over, tune in. Special shout out and thank you again to our sponsor, Netminder. I really appreciate you guys showing support for the Happy Oyster and the Happy Oyster channel. I hope you guys, I told them that we're going to a think tank in Maine this week. So more on that later. I kind of shared a little bit of the pizza cage, and it's all good. Thanks again, guys, for tuning in. We'll see you next week. Love you guys. See ya. And
John, how are you?